The next thing we're going to be looking at is creating some testimonials. Testimonials are typically positive written statements from customers or clients about their experience with your business, product, or service. These are used to provide social proof and build trust with potential customers. Essentially, it's a positive review that is actively presented on your website to showcase customer satisfaction. You might want to add testimonials to your homepage, your about page, product page, or perhaps you'll have a dedicated testimonial page. Testimonials tend to be more credible if they include a photo and are from real customers. Let's see how we can add testimonials to our website. I'll be adding some testimonials to my About page. So I'm going to go into my About page and we're going to add testimonials down here at the bottom of the page. I will go ahead and use the plus sign to add a new element. I did want to show you that if you're using the Spectra plugin, there is a dedicated testimonial block. This particular block by default is going to display a carousel, and of course you have plenty of ways to augment this. So you can choose the number of testimonials that you want to include. You can choose the amount of columns that you want to show, and you can control things such as alignment. In addition, you can add images. So let's just go ahead and add a couple of images. And once I have those specified, you can see that the images are going to show up. We can do things like control where the image is placed by choosing the position, and we can choose to style the image as a circle or a square. In addition, we can change the resolution of the particular image, and you can even control the width of the image. So lots of ways that you can customize this. You can also go into the carousel area, and just like when we created carousels previously, you have a lot of ways to modify how the carousel is going to play on your website. Under the Style tab, you can go ahead and style any of these things, and this is very similar to what we've done in the past. This testimonial block works great if you want to have an image, the testimonial text, and then specify the person's name and possibly the company. However, for my purposes here, I am going to be building a custom testimonial block. I don't necessarily want to use a carousel. And in addition to the testimonial, I want to use some star ratings. I'll go into list view and I'm simply going to delete the testimonial element, and we're going to actually build our own element. I'll begin by creating a container, and I am going to have 3 testimonials show on my page, so I will select a 3-column layout. As you can see, I have a parent container that has 3 children containers. For my child containers, I'm going to go ahead and assign a background color. I'm going to make this white. I'm going to assign a border, and we'll just give it a border of 1. I'm going to slightly round the edges, and I'll go ahead and assign a color, and I'm going to use this mid-tone gray. In addition, I'm going to add a drop shadow to these boxes. I will come down below, and this drop shadow is a little large for my liking, so I'm going to decrease the blur amount a little bit and decrease the spread. The spread is what is going to control where the shadow is. So I'm going to bring that down to -18, so I just have a little bit of a shadow. Finally, I'm going to go to spacing, and I will go ahead and create some additional margin. I'm going to use M's, and I will use 1M. This is just going to give a little bit more breathing room to these elements. Now we'll go ahead and build the inside of the testimonial. Inside of this container, I'll go ahead and I'll create a stack. At the top portion of my stack, I'm going to insert a row because I want to set up 2 columns. Inside the first column, I'm going to add an image, and I'll choose an image from my media gallery. With the image selected, I'll go into my style, and we're going to go ahead and make this a rounded image. I'm going to go to shadow, and I want to make sure that I don't have a drop shadow. So I'm going to turn this off, and then we're simply going to add a border. I'm going to use my mid-tone gray. We'll make this 1 pixel. And finally, I'm going to go to width, and we're going to set this to a fixed width. I want the images to be fairly small, so I'm going to make them 80 pixels. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my row, and I want to create something in the next portion of my row or next to this image. I'll click the plus sign and I'm going to add another block. The next block is going to be some text. So I will use a paragraph, and I'm going to type the person's name. Then I'm going to hit Shift Return to make a soft return, and we'll write their company or their type of employment. I'm going to make the name bold, and I'm going to make their employment information italic. In addition, I'm going to reduce the size of the text. With this paragraph block selected, I'm going to come to the sidebar on the right, and I'm going to set a custom size. We're going to use a size of 14 pixels. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the row, and we're going to change this to justify items in the center. With the stack selected, I'm going to hit a plus sign, and we're going to insert another paragraph. I'll go ahead and place my text inside of this paragraph. With this text selected, I'm going to choose the text to be italic. I'm also going to center align the text, and I'm going to come over to the right and set a custom size, and we will make this text be 16 pixels. Finally, underneath the paragraph, I'm going to create one more element. So with the stack selected, I'll click the plus sign. We are going to search for star, which is going to allow us to bring the star ratings up. This is a feature of Spectra, and it allows you to incorporate a rating system. You have some options here. So with this block selected, we're going to come in here and we will use a range of 1 to 5. We're going to make the rating be 5. We are going to disable the title because we just want the stars to appear. I'm going to center align my stars, and then we'll come to the style, and we're going to pick the yellow from our website as the star color. Now I'm going to go back to my stack, and we'll go ahead and go to the style area, and I just want to make sure that the block spacing is a little tighter, so I'm going to decrease that. And then finally, we're going to add a little bit of padding all the way around. On the top and the bottom, we'll use 2x small, and for the right and the left, I'm going to use extra small. Let's go ahead and save this and make sure this is looking the way I want it to look. I'll click save. I'll come back out to the front end portion of my website. We'll scroll down to the bottom and check this out. Everything is looking pretty good here, except that I don't know what happened to my border. So I'm going to come back, and we will make sure that the inner container is selected. I'm going to go to border, and I neglected to turn solid on. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And now the border should display. I'm also going to select my row, and we're going to go to styles, and for block spacing I want to make these a little closer, so we'll go ahead and set this at 2x small. I'll hit save, and let's just refresh this and check it out and make sure that everything looks the way we want. It doesn't look like my stars are center aligning, so let's just look into that really quickly. With the star rating selected, I'm going to go back to general, and it does look like the alignment is set to center. Let me go ahead and just check this on the different screen sizes. So you can see at the tablet size, it is not centered. I'm going to make that change. And then we'll look at this at the small screen size. And once again, they are not centered. So I will do that. Let's hit save one more time. And then I'll come back out and we'll refresh. That still isn't updating. Let me just see what it looks like at the various screen sizes. For whatever reason, it is not allowing me to align those, so that might be something that we have to adjust using some custom CSS. I am keeping a list of the things that I want to adjust. It is common that when you use WordPress, sometimes all of the styles that you create don't always stick. You might have to manually adjust the CSS. I'm not really sure why it does this, but it is a limitation. So just keep that in mind and always make sure that you're checking what your website looks like, because what you see inside of the WordPress editor is not always what the element is going to look like outside of the WordPress editor. So do keep that in mind. The final thing I will do is I'll select my stack, and I'm just going to increase the block spacing a little bit. I feel like I need a little bit of breathing room. Now this is looking the way I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename my stack. I will click the three dots and we'll rename this. I'm going to call it Testimonial. Now that we have the first testimonial built, I'm going to come to the three dots and we're simply going to duplicate this element. As you can see, it makes an exact copy. I'll do that one more time. And because I'm duplicating the container, it actually is creating a 5-column layout. I no longer need these other two containers, so I will delete those. And then all I need to do is switch out the information. Within WordPress, I'm going to simply go ahead and augment the information that I need to so that I can go ahead and create my additional testimonials. We'll do that one more time and make our third testimonial. Now that I have all my testimonial information entered, I will save my page. I'm going to go back to the front end and refresh. And you can see this is what my testimonial section looks like. The only thing that we'll need to eventually augment is to center our stars. I'm just going to check this out at these various screen sizes. At the small screen size, these are stacking, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want them to do. So I think that this looks really great. I'm really happy with my custom testimonials. Because I might want to use testimonials on other pages, I'm going to select the containing element, and let's go ahead and rename this. I'll click on these three dots and let's just turn this into a pattern, as this is something that we might want to use later on. So I'm going to call this testimonial -3 call. And I don't want to sync this because I want to be able to change the information if necessary. I'll add this, and that is all I need to do. Now I have my testimonials on my About page, and I was able to create a custom testimonial area for my website. Regardless if you're going to create your own testimonials like we did here, or perhaps if you prefer to use a plugin or one of these blocks that comes with a Spectra plugin, testimonials can be really beneficial as they will provide credibility to your business, and users tend to trust your business more when you have testimonials on your websites.